Hey, welcome back to Brothers Trippin. This is actually episode 1 of season 2 because unlike the rest of the world, I like to go by the actual dates on the calendar for stuff. So January becomes season 2. Anyway,
we made it to season 2, guys.
We did, season 2. So we also, for anybody, for our 2 fans that are listening, we are looking for sponsors, new sponsors for the pod. If anybody wants to jump up and jump in, we will happily work a deal with you to be the sponsor for the pod if anyone's interested. Today, we are probably just going to chat a little bit about the college postseason, and which we'll finish up tomorrow night, and then we will hit the pro postseason, which will finish up in about 3 weeks, and is finishing up the divisional round as we speak, and so we'll go from there. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Sad college football season's wrapping up, but honestly, ready to kind of move on from it, too, at the same time, I guess.
Dude, I feel like we're about to enter the dreaded doldrums of sports. I'm just not a basketball guy at all. And so the fact that football's ending, I know there's like the UFL or whatever it's called that starts up in March. But man, this gap between when football ends and baseball starts, stick a fork in my eye. It's rough. I don't love this time of sports.
So even the Huskers 18-0 men's basketball team hasn't gotten you excited?
Well, I told you what happened last time. I started watching the Indiana game, and they went down by 12, almost as soon as I started watching. And so I thought, I'm a curse. I've cursed them. This is my fault. And so I turned it off, and they came back.
And
so
they
it's
did.
Just further evidence that I was the curse for Nebraska sports.
I'm not going to lie, that gives me a little bit of dad vibes.
Yeah.
Aaron, I don't know if you remember.
I remember.
You do?
Yes, of course, but it's like he wasn't watching it to begin with. It was just some reason to be pissed about something. I don't know. So I got to tell you guys this joke. So you know how it seems to me like kids go through these weird phases, especially boys. These phases of pop cultural stuff. Mm-hmm. Every kid for some reason has a phase, whether it's a day or 2 weeks, of just loving Weird Al Yankovic songs. Right? Well, Will had that. It lasted about 72 hours, thankfully. Stage that he's in right now is making up Yo Mama jokes. And I do not know if this was actually him, if he actually made this one up. But today we're sitting in church, and Will's 11 for our listeners. Will's 11, and Heidi tells me this joke, or this story, that he leaned over to her during sacrament, which is the most sacred part of when you're supposed to be most reverent or whatever. He leans over to her and he goes, "Yo mama's so fat, Thanos had to snap twice to make her disappear." And when she told me, I was dying laughing. It was the funniest Yo Mama joke I've ever heard. I don't know. Thanos had to snap twice. It's so freaking funny. Man, I just died. And then he just went back to being normal Will, falling asleep on my shoulder or whatever. It's he woke up just to tell that joke and go.
That is spectacular.
That was inspiring.
I love it.
Oh, man, it was hilarious.
That is awesome. Oh my
That'd be
goodness.
A good way to open the pod there.
Heck yeah, that is fantastic.
Dude,
I love it.
That's a keeper.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, it is. Yeah. He's gotten your comedic timing too, apparently, Josh.
It was, I don't know where he got that. He's making them up though. I steal them from everybody else. He's making this stuff up on his own, as far as I know. It's hilarious.
Wow, that is hilarious. Kid. Holy cow. 11, is that 5th grade? He's in 6th grade?
Yeah, which is middle school actually here. So.
Wow, all right.
Yeah.
Wow, getting big.
Indeed. Yep,
That's crazy. Yeah, I was just telling Andrew before we jumped on that I had 3 of the grandkids and then Sarah's niece. So the 2 of us took care of all 4 of those kids last night. Nice. We just had them sleep over. Whew, man, that was a reminder of what it was like to, parent with multiple kids in the house. That was crazy.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and it's funny because I've taken to telling people after, having raised 5 kids, I have taken to telling people when they tell me they're starting a family, that they're pregnant the first time, whatever. My advice is always never have more kids in the house than you do adults. I don't care how you get the other adults in the house. It could be a grandma, it could be an aunt, it could be a permanent babysitter, like housekeeper type, whatever. I don't care. You just have to have, if you have 5 kids, you need 5 adults in the house. I'm sorry.
It's just a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yes, exactly. Because otherwise it is exhausting. Just bone weary exhausting.
It really is. I was telling my buddies the other day, because I'm like getting after Will. We're trying to hustle from Emma's choir performance to him and his soccer game, and we're running late, right? Like it's going to be a tight window to get there. And I'm walking back to the car, and he's 15 feet behind me, 10 feet behind me. I'm just like thinking to myself, dude, like shorter legs is no excuse for walking slower than me. Get up here and walk next to me, for crying out loud, because I don't want to have to wait. I don't want to have to worry about what might be behind me. Anyway, he didn't speed up.
No, they kind of do their own thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Kids. They're the
Kids. The youngest one that I had last night, Brooklyn, she's 4. She did not. It wasn't that she was refusing to go to sleep. It was simply that get up and get some water. Go find a toy. When you're in bed, laying there, you now take your water and you drink it very, very loudly. You roll over, you play with it. You go, oh my gosh, where's my Bluey toy? Now that it's dark in the room and you can't find it anymore. And you just keep doing these things. And the other 3, who were all, of course, older than her, were like, Brooklyn, go to sleep. And they all wanted to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So eventually we took her and put her into the main bedroom with Sarah, and she talked herself to sleep. Like Sarah said, she was literally mid-sentence and all of a sudden just out. And so we waited about 25, 30 minutes after that before I picked her up and moved her back out to where all the kids were sleeping in the living room on the mattresses and stuff. And it was hilarious though. And it reminded me of Braden, because Braden was the kid who never wanted to go to sleep. So we had to stagger bedtimes, and Braden always had to go to sleep last because he would never wake the kids up. So he would never wake up Aaron or Corey like if they were asleep. But if he was in bed first, those 2 would not go to sleep because he would keep them up. So we always had to go Braden last in order to get the boys any sleep when they were younger.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So.
All right, how we doing?
All right, so
play? I can't remember. I didn't remember seeing.
You didn't remember seeing your 49ers play them last night? So
no,
I
show up.
honestly was pretty surprised at that outcome. I think 49ers fans should be proud of their team, because to play with that MASH unit and get as far as they did was impressive.
Like I'm not even kind of a wizard that way. Like he gets more out of the team than it seems like they should be performing. I mean, I wouldn't call their wide receiver core world beaters at all.
Not at this point. No, definitely. Juwan Jennings, Pearsall, whoever.
But those are also their main starters. Who's the one? I can't remember suddenly the guy who was injured, who missed most of the season.
The one that
he wanted to be traded.
The one they re-signed. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just been a no-show for the last 2 years.
Yes, exactly. And it's like they don't have any friggin' like Pro Bowler types on their team, and they still somehow.
Well, Kittle.
Anyway,
Kittle.
I mean like straight receiving core though. Anyway, it's Kittle and McCaffrey.
And then
Jennings is there too. But anyway,
I mean, I think Jennings is pretty solid, but like
he is, but he's no.
But he's not. You're right. He's not all pro. He's not Pro Bowl caliber. He's not anything like that.
I was really surprised they didn't go after a true downfield threat, like to try and just stretch the field more.
Well, they should probably definitely look at that in this draft. And the thing about receivers
they need a true number 1.
Yeah. And the thing is about receivers is you can find them and they can come out of college and be good right away,
Well, Rashid Shaheed, he's a downfield threat. He doesn't need to be your number 1. He just stretches the field. And somebody like that, who I don't know how much the Seahawks paid for him, that's exactly what the Niners.
I think they traded like a 6 and a 7 for him or something.
Give me a break. Give me that's nothing.
It's freaking awesome. I thought it was fantastic.
That's.
Well, when I heard they were getting Shaheed, I was so stoked. I was like, "That's amazing! Like that's an incredible." Because we had actually we had a kid who was playing really well, and then he got injured, and that's when they went and got Shaheed. And now, if we can keep Shaheed and keep the other kid in the fold, like it'll be, because the other kid was also returning kicks, so it was like it was a great move. And I've followed Shaheed since he played at Weber State. I mean, I've followed that kid because I was like, hey, that's a Weber State kid.
Did he know? Did
You
you know
know?
that was you following him
say,
everywhere?
Yeah, he knew. Like, he was like, dude, keep following because I'm, going to do great things.
That's
so,
why
You were-
were always closed.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
You were the
I don't
first member
try
of
to
the fan
hide
club.
myself when I follow guys. Like, I just follow them. If they don't like
Slowly
it,
in a car.
But
Just look away every time. Every time you look
right,
back.
yeah, he didn't see
Wave
me.
over there. Hey, buddy.
Or it's kind of like, can't see me. That's what the kids do.
You were president of his fan club.
Right? No, I mean, Shahid's a baller, man. And, like, for him to open the game last night, and I got to tell you, I did not see Pinero try and trip him on the original return, like, as it happened live. And so when I saw the flag, I thought, God, we just wasted that. And then to see the replay of Pinero try and trip him,
It was pathetic.
I'm not going to lie, I had a good laugh at that. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Well, he's a kicker for a reason.
Right?
I think it's interesting. I think Shanahan gets more out of players than a lot of coaches, but then I do think when he's at full strength, there are times when he doesn't get the most out of everybody.
I definitely feel like they should have won
I
one
think
of
there are
these Super
times
Bowls that they were
he
in.
just has overthought things in the past, and it's led to at least one. I think at least one. I mean, obviously, when he was with the Falcons, he wasn't the head coach, but he was the OC, and that was
Oh, that was
when the Falcons
the New
lost
England
to the Patriots.
Falcons? Yeah.
Biggest comeback in
Yep.
whatever playoff history or something. Probably it's just like, dude.
The loss to the Chiefs hurt me. Like, I didn't want them to lose to the Chiefs that year.
Yeah, there's that too.
And then they
And
lost.
Mahomes played terrible in that game, and they lost. I don't know. Obviously, I don't think you should get rid of him by any means. I'm not saying that. I think there's been times he's either outthought himself or just hasn't gotten the most out of his guys when they've actually been at full capacity, which seems like almost never.
Right.
Feels
Especially
like the
lately.
Niners have their key guys get hurt.
Because
all
didn't
the time.
McCaffrey miss a lot of last year?
Yeah, most of it.
Most of
most
last
of
year.
last year. And then this year it was
What if they
Purdy and
keep
like
injuring
everybody.
somebody on purpose just so he's not at full capacity, so that he's a better coach?
The GM's like, I know what his superpower is.
Yeah, Kittle, it's your turn.
We must have at least 2 to 3 of our stars get hurt. Trent Williams seems to be the secret sauce in that offense. If Trent Williams is out, forget it. They are just bad.
Well, yeah, and he actually played last night. So,
No, he did. No,
but he wasn't. He wasn't 100%
percent
though. I don't think he was 100%.
He played against the Eagles too.
Yeah.
You know, when they beat the Eagles, I was like, anything else is just going to be frosting on the cake because I didn't even think they'd beat the Eagles. So I was just thrilled they beat the Eagles.
Isn't it crazy to see who's not in the running anymore this year? We're not going to have a Bills. We're not going to have a Chiefs. We're not going to have an Eagles.
Ravens?
I mean, yeah, the Ravens.
Ravens.
It's crazy. It's kind of like it's
Which
kind
is
of nice.
kinda-
It's like college football where it's been.
Yeah.
Miami's been there before, but not recently.
Yeah, it's been
Hopefully
25
never
years.
again.
So, no, I'm with you. It's kind of fun to kind of see, some of the differences, different teams. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little, like, of course, nobody, would know this or whatever until after it happened, but I'm kind of bummed the Bills didn't manage to pull that out given Nix's injury, because now that takes to me, it takes, like, you almost know
That's
the Patriots are
crazy.
going to win that
Crazy,
game.
dude.
Like, I don't know what else they're going to do. I don't know how they
You
don't
don't
win
have
that
any
game.
faith in Jarrett Stidham?
I really, really don't.
Could
Not
you
gonna
just
lie.
run the ball and rely on your defense?
That's what you're going to have to do. Can you pull it off? I mean,
And also-
if you're the Patriots and their defense, I don't think is near the, like, it's solid. Their
Their
defense is solid.
pretty good.
But it's not on the level of Houston or Seattle, right? Or Denver, for that matter. I don't think the Patriots' defense is that good. But it is good enough that if all you're really going to have to defend is the run, you're good enough. You're good enough to pull that off, So, I mean,
I feel bad for Knicks, man. That's a bum.
yeah, I do too. I mean, if they were going to win, I'd have much rather have seen them at full strength.
I mean, I definitely
what I
wanted
mean?
Josh
So-
Allen. I really am a big
I did
Josh
too.
Allen
I
fan.
wanted Josh Allen big time because he's like, it's crazy. Like they look like garbage in the first half, and for them to,
They always play good in the second half, but they're not
Yeah.
a first half team. It's just
no, it's just not how they do
dude.
it.
They could have won the second to last play. He threw it right
I
to
know.
overthrew the tight end.
Yes,
Dude, touchdown.
I know.
Ball game.
I know. He actually had several throws yesterday that were
He did.
very
He had
un-Josh
some that were-
Allen like. That would have definitely turned that game quite a bit had he hit those. There were several over.
The Brandon Cooks thing where he comes down with the ball and the DB just
Steals it.
grabs it out of his hand while he's that. Oh my That was like Husker-esque from 2 years ago.
Yeah, totally, right?
I swear that happened like 3 times to the Huskers.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
it
2
was
years
crazy.
ago.
And for those people, like, for myself, I'm biased because I really wanted the Bills to win, especially because my boy Jackson's been playing so well for them. I wanted to see that keep going for him. So I'm definitely biased rooting for the Bills out of the AFC. But at first I was sitting there thinking, man, like, can't you make the argument that he made the catch and he's down? And then, of course, my son, who, played like 1 season of football when he was like 9, comes in with the argument that he's like, hey, look, if we're judging, like, if there had been no defender there and he simply had made the same catch / whatever, but he rolls over and the ball comes loose at that point, we would not have said he survived the catch. So in that case, that shows that he's not down with the catch, and then the ball's stolen. It happened so fast that it would have been an interception. And I'm like, darn you and your logic. So,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Conversation over.
Right. So how do we feel? So we have this Rams-Bears game that looks like it's still 10-10 at this moment. So we have the AFC matchup. I'm assuming you both are thinking most likely Patriots to win that game?
I have no idea.
Patriots,
Given that
Broncos.
Denver doesn't have...
Oh, you mean against the Broncos? Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I was not thinking about...
So
I was
you-
thinking about
so
this
you're looking
freaking
at-
desk.
Okay, so
But
what's wrong with your desk? Our viewers...
Nothing. It's a new desk, and I'm not quite done assembling it. And so,
okay.
and it's like my OCD is kicking in about, like, what's the next step? I want to finish it. It harkens back to my R.C. Willey days of assembling furniture.
As it should.
Yeah.
So, what? We got the Seahawks are going to play the winner of this game, right?
Yes.
Correct.
In Seattle,
Yep.
right?
Yep. I mean, if they play like last night, I don't think either of these teams really should win that game. But the Rams have been Darnold's bugaboo. That's who beat him the last game with the Vikings. That's who got 4 interceptions out of him the first time they played and 2 out of him the last time they played, even though the Seahawks came back to win that game. So the Rams have been his bugaboo. That being said, the Rams, of course, it took quite a bit for them to beat Carolina in Carolina last week. That was not a game that it was a game that they looked like they could lose. So, I don't know if the Rams are as strong as they were, but they'll be up for it. Like, that's the thing. I think they'll be up for the game. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Honestly, I think any of these 3 teams could end up facing the Patriots.
Well, and I think
Bears-
I mean, like, that's
The Bears just end up coming back in every game.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter, they come back every single game. So
It's
I'm not
almost
gonna-
like
I'm
they
not going
don't
to count
know.
the Bears out until the game's over.
Right. And it's almost like the Bears don't know that they're supposed to lose sometimes. Like, they're young enough or they're hungry enough that it's like, you guys aren't supposed to keep doing this. You know what I mean? And yet they keep doing it. So it'll be interesting.
You got a baby back there that we don't know about?
No, it's a cat.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. I call it cat hole, but
It's like
Anyway, no, it'll be interesting. I don't count out. I do think this, though. I don't care which of these 3 teams make it out of the NFC. I think they'll beat the AFC team. Whether it's the Patriots or the Broncos somehow make it, I think the NFC is going to win the Super Bowl. Because I think all 3 of these teams are better than those 2 teams. So that's just my opinion. But
I just can't root for the Seahawks. I can't do it.
ouch, bro.
Never gonna
Rooted for your 49ers before.
happen. That was your choice. And I'm
Oh,
sure
you
you regret it.
compromising your morals.
And
Don't
I'm
ask
sure
me
you.
to.
I cannot root for the Seahawks, dude.
I just don't really care either way. I'm a one-team kind of guy, and if they're not playing, then I have less interest.
Yeah, with the Bills and the Niners out now, it's tough. It's going to be tough for me to find somebody to root for.
I mean, I'll root for the Bears. I mean, the thing is, it's weird. Like, I don't know why, but I kind of like the Rams. The Bears, Chicago.
As a 49ers fan?
I know, it's weird. Maybe it's just because they play tough, and, Matthew Stafford seems like the guy. He seems like a bumblebee to me. He's like a bumblebee. If you look at their dynamics, they should not be able to fly, right? Like, they're just this huge, weird, bulbous body and these tiny little wings, and somehow they fly. Matthew Stafford, to me, does not look like he should be a professional athlete, and yet he's
He's got
He's
got
held in
tiny
there
little
so
wings and a
freaking long.
bulbous body.
He's been playing for so freaking long now. It's amazing how he's
Not
held
as
on.
long as Phillip Rivers.
Well, still, Phillips, he's
Now
another.
there's a bumblebee.
Yeah, like he got stung in the neck by a dozen of them.
Yeah, right.
And he has these like really short. It feels like he has these really short arms. Like when he tried to throw the ball, it was almost like he just shoved it.
Well, he always kind of like that was always his throwing
kinda
motion. It was rough to watch, frankly.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there aren't a lot of. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there aren't a lot of NFL quarterbacks that come out of Georgia, right? And so like, and I remember thinking like during the time of his younger career, it was in doubt for a little while. Like he had rough years starting out there. Yeah,
Because he
Playing
was in
for Detroit
and they were terrible.
when they were
but-
bad.
Right, but like that was part of it, right? So it just seemed like, boy, I just remember like seeing different commentators being like, oh, "This is a rough start to this guy," you know, for this guy. But of course, he played in Detroit, so I don't know. It's just I've been surprised, I guess, with no real backing behind it, that his career has done as well as it has. And it's awesome for him, and I think that's partly one of the reasons why I like him. I also just like kind of the toughness of Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. And, you know, I don't know. McVay
is a mastermind.
Yeah, McVay's a genius. I'm not gonna lie. That
he
guy,
is.
you know, he's impressive.
like, I'm always impressed, but this is going to sound shallow and weird and maybe a little gay for some reason. I don't know why, but like, I'm always impressed
okay
with
with
the
that.
dudes who, the dudes who look like they take care of themselves. You know, like Mangino was a great coach, but I couldn't stand him because the dude is like, how do you get to this point? It's like Brett Bielema, whatever. You know, it's like,
Yeah, who weighs like
how can you
5,000
be so
pounds.
great at something and neglect something so important? Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
So it's just
You
my own
realize there's a
bias.
good chance they're going to see this.
Brett, I mean, I think
There's-
you're doing a great job.
So much for getting him on our
But
guest.
but to your point, I kind of get it because you're like, okay, you're demanding excellence out of these people who you're coaching, and yet you're a fat blob. Like,
You know, yeah.
and I have no room to talk. Like, you know, I mean, I could definitely always be doing better, but you know, I get what you're saying. Like, especially with like
I think it's
Mangino.
partly our own bias. Like, it's a stupid, shallow bias, but like we always think of like fitter, more attractive people as
I
succeeding.
wonder if
better.
there's something to it, though. I wonder if there's, like, it's an interesting thesis, right? Because you've got that tree, and they're all the same. Those guys are all the same. You got Ben Johnson now, right? Same old. You've got Packers coach,
My LaFleur.
LaFleur, and his brother is also an OC, Mike.
Hey,
LaFleur.
listen,
Wasn't
Mike
LaFleur a
McDonald.
kicker?
Mike McDonald, the head coach of the
Mike
Seahawks,
McDonald.
is
Mike
ripped.
McDonald, who was a DC of the Ravens.
Yep.
Are
Then
they
you've
all from the
got-
same coaching tree?
I don't know if McVay has a pretty extensive coaching tree. We could
Yeah,
look it up
he does.
pretty quickly, but it's
Our Husker guy at Cincinnati, he's a McVay guy.
Frank Solich, yep.
what in the
He's killing it.
Cincinnati? There's not even a connection to Cincinnati.
He said Nebraska guy. I knew it wasn't Frank Solich. Why it's funny.
Taylor.
Yeah, Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor. I mean, I guess Cincinnati is in Ohio, where Solich coached at the University of
Although
Ohio for a long
Zach
time.
Taylor's more of a dad bod guy. Let's be honest.
He is all right. I'll give you,
You look
that.
at Zach Taylor.
I was
he's
just
not hitting
saying
the gym.
he's
was a Peyton
definitely
Manning
he's a
guy.
McVay.
Yes.
He's
He's
a
driving
Mc-
right by the gym. He's driving right by it.
On the way to the post office to cancel his gym membership. By
Post
letter.
office. It's 1970.
Dude, haven't you heard Ryan
Putting
Hamilton
a stamp
stamp
on his letter that he
Self-addressed stamped envelope.
Haven't you heard Ryan
Oh
Hamilton,
my
stand-up comedian?
Gosh.
The effort he had to go to cancel his gym membership?
That's so
Zach
bad.
Taylor was doing 3 sets of neck both sides, and that's it at the gym.
3 sets of neck.
Both sides.
You know what?
I
I'd
only
be-
brought him up because he is a McVay guy, though. He's definitely in that tree.
the Carolina Panthers coach. He's-
Matt Rule.
That dude.
He's
These guys all look like they're from GQ magazine. Like, I swear. I'm just like, dude, come on, man. That's not even fair.
Yeah.
You're
Give the
NFL
rest of us
coach.
schlubs a chance.
Rocking the 5 o'clock show.
I mean, I would
freaking jacked.
you've got Harbaugh though, who might be one of the best coaches in the league, and he's a dad bod guy. He's not a not a jacked
John.
Yes,
of them.
John
He's like
Harbaugh.
60 now, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but he can still be jacked. You can still be jacked
not.
at 60. He's not. He's
Much harder.
the captain of the dad bod squad.
Well, I think Jim is way more dad
bod?
bod-ish, than John.
Okay. Well, both of them.
Well,
then,
have you seen him in his
They can
khakis?
co-captain the dad
That
bod
dude's
squad.
hips
Khaki
look like
Harbaugh.
he's got birthing hips. I'm like, dude, that's a.
Look, anything's possible these days, Andrew.
I'm just saying, physically, not impressed. Also, his interviews are just straight up weird.
Haven't they always been?
Jim Harbaugh is not. He's like, he can't even, like I'm doing right now. I'm trying to think of like a coherent thought and express it. He can't do it.
That's
Right.
Alzheimer's.
He sits there. What's that?
That's Alzheimer's.
Yeah, early onset.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just like, what in the world? How does this guy get his teams to win? Like, obviously there's a lot more to it than that, but it's like the presence is not there.
Well, in college, he was paying people before you're supposed to. I'm just kidding.
Well, look,
I think it was more that he was
Stanford, and then the Niners with Kaepernick, and then
Michigan.
Like, the dude's got a history of winning.
He's got a pretty solid history of.
He's got a but it's just you look at him and you're like, you okay, dude? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He's just
reaction.
oddball. But
He's definitely weird.
the McVay tree, that's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting point.
Who did
Josh.
McVay coach under before becoming a head coach?
He was so
Your
young.
mama.
He was he was the youngest head coach in the league for like 7 or 8 years because he was so young when he got hired. He's only 39 now.
Mother F.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I mean,
You know
that's
what's weird
insane.
is,
Is he
like,
really?
seeing people who
That's
I feel like,
that's what I swear they said.
Let's see.
Do you guys still have that thing where you look at these NFL players and you think they're all older than you?
And they're all younger, like by a
passed
lot.
that.
Half?
He is 39, yeah. And
that
he turns 40 in about a week.
Good gosh.
Yeah.
I would have guessed he was like 44, 45.
I mean, I am
Okay,
a whole
here we go.
like kid who's in school older than him. Like from kindergarten to senior year, I am that guy older than McVay. I'm like, this is crazy.
It is weird.
So-
Let's hear it, Andrew. You're taking too long.
Oh, you guys waiting on me?
Sure.
Coaching tree. Okay, he coached under John Gruden.
That's wild.
He coached under Jay Gruden.
Okay.
He coached under Jim Haslett with the Florida Tuskers. Aaron, do you know who that was?
Yeah, I remember that team.
Of course he does.
Wow. And Mike Shanahan.
The year he got the Huskers and the Tuskers confused.
So the coaching tree, the ones who coached under him, Matt LaFleur, Zach Taylor, Jed Fish, who I love, Brandon Staley,
Whoa.
Kevin O'Connell.
Not you marry him.
Wow.
Now
okay,
O'Connell's kind
up
of a
in Minnesota.
hybrid dad bod.
Dad bod, rip,
Jim Bro,
swole guy. Yeah.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute.
Raheem Morris, definite Jim Bro. Well,
Yeah.
like more of a mature Jim Bro. Thomas Brown, don't know who that is. Liam Cohen.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually knew that. Liam, no, he's
Liam's
is he
a
more dad bod? Yeah,
he
he's
strikes
dad
me as
bod.
dad bod. But
It's hilarious that we're grading the coaching tree based on whether or not they're a dad bod or not, and
there's two more.
it's a physique coaching tree and not like a talent in football coaching.
I mean, those guys most of the guys he listed are pretty talented.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Like instead of like investor bros, there's coachers bros.
Kingsbury's an underrated Jim Bro. Like, have you ever seen him?
No.
Yeah,
He's
I
like 18 feet tall, isn't he?
think so. That's
I think
really
he's
tall,
he's
Josh.
kind of an underrated Jim
I
Bro.
think people would notice that on the sideline.
People would have a hard time ignoring
Who's
that.
that 18-foot tall coach again? Oh, yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. That's right.
No, it's not McVay, but it's one of his gym bros.
Hits his head on the door every time he walks into the gym. Yep.
He'd hit like his freaking belly button if he was 18
There's
feet
double
tall.
K. Cliff Kingsbury.
Are you kidding? He'd be hitting mid-thigh, wouldn't he? Like right around his hips.
Gosh.
I'm kind of surprised. End of 3 and it's still 10-10.
I know, right? I'm surprised. Like the weather must be playing into this.
Boring.
Manungai just got hammered.
Manungai got Manungat.
Gus
All right,
Signetti.
let's switch modes here.
Do you guys want to know how you did on your postseason
sure
picks?
don't.
I do. Let's wrap it.
You guys can
quickly.
talk about it when I'm.
All right. So Just out of curiosity, because I want to try and include this. So on the playoffs, I never got a response from you guys as to who you were picking between Indiana, Oregon, and Ole Miss, Miami. Because I was like, hey, let's repick this, and I sent a text, and neither of you guys responded to it.
I thought we did that on that friggin' episode.
Yeah.
No, because that...
I picked Miami. No, I didn't. I picked Ole Miss because I wanted them to beat Miami.
Okay, so you picked Ole Miss, and you picked Indiana. Who did you pick, Andrew?
He picked Miami, I think.
I picked Indiana, and I picked...
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, that's actually good for Andrew, because prior to the semifinals, I was 4-4, Andrew was 4-4, and Josh, you were 3-5, just in the playoff picks.
Second place.
And so if Andrew picked both Indiana and Miami, he is now 6-4. I picked Indiana and Ole Miss, so I am 5-5, and Josh would have been 4-6.
Nice. Top 3, baby. Top 3.
Now this is for the.
Oh no,
right?
you picked Ole Miss and wait, you picked Indiana, so you're good. Okay, so so you're 4-6. I'm 5-5, and Andrew is 6-4, just in the playoffs. And we'll get to picking the game tomorrow here in a minute.
I feel it's rather inconvenient that nobody else has access to this data except for you. Or whatever.
Now this is for the $1,000 jackpot, right?
I will copy it and send it to you.
It's manipulated.
So anyway, on the bowl game picks, just bowl games, no playoff games included. Josh went 20-14.
Boom.
It's okay.
Andrew went 14-20.
Sure did.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's how you finish, Josh. It's how you finish.
Even though I've already been accused of hoarding the information, I'm still going to say I went 21-13.
What a load of crap.
Just saying.
Based on?
I feel like you would have gone 20.5 and 13.5.
Based on
for you.
what was the deciding game?
Yeah,
I didn't go back and compare which game it was that we were off on.
Where's our producers? Who's going to buy these stats?
Josh Josh made a late comeback, actually. Josh actually got himself back into within one game by picking SMU to beat Arizona in the Holiday Bowl, which they did. So I picked Arizona.
I was probably drunk at the time.
Josh had a good run on the last day of the bowl games. He went 4-0 that day.
I don't go a lot running.
So he had picked Texas State, he picked Navy, he picked Wake Forest, and he picked SMU. And all 4 of them won on the last day, and that got him to within a game of me because I was up like 3 games on him, but I had a bad day that day. Anyway, when you add in our playoff scores, Josh is, so Josh is 4-6 in the playoffs, so you are 24-20 overall with all picks with 1 game left. Andrew, you are 6-4, so you are 20-24 overall. And then I am 5-5, so I am 26-18.
Wait, we're not gonna count the high school All-American Bowl game?
I didn't even see any of those this year. I didn't even see them on TV. Like that is weird. I hadn't even thought about that, but I haven't seen any of those in a minute.
All right, tomorrow night.
So, thoughts on tomorrow night. Josh, go.
It's an open and closed book already. Indiana's just going to barnstorm them.
Gobsmack.
Boat race.
Gobsmack. That's a good one.
Flurberty. What's the one Aaron says?
Mollywop.
Mollywop. Yeah, it's going to be a curb stomping, I think. I don't think. Indiana's an 8.5-point favorite in the games in Miami. Wait, what did I just say? Did I say Indiana?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, if Indiana comes out like they did against Oregon, Miami should probably just board up the windows because the storm has arrived. That's all I got. I was trying with the hurricane metaphor.
I got you. Yeah, I felt you.
It didn't. No.
Tropical storm.
It missed.
All right. Josh is
storm
on Indiana.
Signetti. Tropical storm Signetti's rolling in.
There you go. All right, Andrew. What are your thoughts?
I'm going Miami all the way.
Are you freaking kidding me?
No, but I do think.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I can't. Look.
You're going to pick Miami?
I just said no. No, I was joking.
I said, "Are you kidding me?" And you said no.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. I just heard the first part. So listen. I do think there is a pretty big element to the fact that nobody's giving Miami a shot here.
Dude.
Look.
Nobody.
Carson Beck has like 800 games in college.
Mm-hmm.
So that
He'll sue. For
And in none of them has he been good.
he's got 3 lawsuits pending for 3 more years. Now look, Miami has the best offense and defensive lines. Okay, probably together cumulative, I think, of pretty much any team who was in the playoff.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't either. It sounds good.
I heard a guy named
I
Joe
think
Klatt
it's
say
something that you
similar.
can't unprove. You cannot disprove. That, okay, therefore it stands.
That's legitimate.
But no, listen.
Just science, guys.
What's kind of crazy to think about too is that there should be absolutely no pressure on Indiana either. This is like their rise is like meteoric, and so it's like
Unprecedented.
and yet it just feels like now we already expect them to dominate. This would be like
They
the
expect them
4th
to
game in a
dominate.
row where we expect them to just blow the doors off of a top 10 team, which is bananas. Think about how crazy that is. Okay, they've just dismantled these teams one after another. I have a feeling Miami is going to keep it within 4 touchdowns.
It's going to be closer than expected.
Okay, so listen, this is not going to be your typical
And in the
Indiana blowout.
2-minute drill.
It's not. It's not. I don't think Indiana scores more than 49. Okay, and I think Indiana or Miami probably is going to get into double digits. It's probably going to be a 49-13, maybe 16, maybe 21. No, I guess all I'm saying is I think when everybody's kind of leaning in one direction, it feels like college football has a way of just course correcting somehow. And while I don't think Indiana's gonna like drop the ball in this one and lose, I think Miami, honestly, if they just run the ball and run it well, they've got some serious dudes. Who's that true freshman? That kid is insane. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Kid?
Yes, the one who's been basically scoring all their points, it feels like. Anyway.
Oh, the receiver?
Yeah,
No,
receiver. No.
Yeah.
He's like an all-purpose guy.
You're talking Tony?
Yes, thank you.
You
Tony.
guys saw that one-handed freaking catch that
Yes.
was out of bounds? That catch was absurd. I could not
It was absurd.
believe that
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah. That might have been honestly, if that would have been in bounds.
They needed to check his hands for spider web because that was incredible.
Yeah, that was nuts. So I think
Highlight
Miami
out
could
of
give
bounds
them.
catch.
It could be like maybe a 21-14, 14-14 game at half, and then I think Indiana seems to get a lot of turnovers on defense, and so
Dude,
if Beck makes even one bad move, let's say a pick 6 or I don't know, I just think obviously it could end up kind of just the domino effect could start, but
yeah. Joe Klatt had a pretty good analysis actually on his podcast of like what Indiana does when they have the ball.
I didn't know you had become a Joel Klatt guy.
I'm not I'm just looking for anything that's
Yeah, no, I get it.
intelligent football analysis, and it's not just like gobbledygook like
Yeah.
our podcast. But
How dare you?
I know, but and I didn't get this from the Joel Klatt show. But have you looked at what Indiana's turnover margin is, or their turnover?
It's like
Yeah.
plus 20 something.
Yes, it's also absurd.
Yeah,
They've
that's what
had
I'm saying.
like
Like
one
it's
game
turnovers.
where it was even, and they've never had a game, I don't think, under Signetti where they were in the negative in the turnover battle.
My gosh,
It's
dude.
always like +3.
Just stop.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is. How do you explain that? Come on.
What
How do
I
you
can't
explain
figure
that?
out. Okay,
You coach
listen.
How,
Yes,
Aaron? If you coach
listen.
it, why aren't there 100 coaches
Yes.
lined up outside of his freaking building?
Exactly.
Saying,
Here's
show
what-
me, show me.
This is what
There
baffles
are.
me.
They're all. If you're asking if there are coaches who want to learn
No,
that, I guarantee you
Yes,
there are
of course.
coaches at any clinic or any time he's talking that want to learn it. That I can
Of course.
guarantee you.
Of course. I have nothing of anything of value to add as far as experience.
Cool, Aaron, you're up. I have
Listen,
nothing.
Here's what I cannot figure out about him, okay? Every coach that has it's been a new coach and taken a team to a national title within 2 years. Urban Meyer did it at Florida. Saban, I think, did it when he came back to Alabama. Maybe not 2 years, maybe it was a couple of years more. Urban Meyer again when he was at Utah, and they became the BCS Busters.
It would have been Utah, then Florida.
Well, I know
Go
that,
ahead.
yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't going for chronology here.
Sorry.
Well, you
like
did-
examples of...
You did kind of say, you did
wasn't-
kind of put
yeah.
some chronology in the
He
statement.
said he did it
when you said
again when he
it
went
did
to
it
Utah.
again at Utah.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Well,
Anyway, okay, you're right. You're right.
yeah,
Utah was first. But my point is, like, all of those teams still had pretty good building blocks to start with. And they weren't perennial losers. Like, Utah wasn't amazing, but they were starting to make a name for themselves a little bit.
yeah,
And they had
McBride
pieces
definitely. McBride had him competitive at least in the
by
Mountain
the time he
West.
left.
Yeah.
Well,
Indiana has been a perennial loser for decades, a bottom dweller for decades. And I know Signetti brought a ton of guys from JMU, but like to take an absolute, this is what baffles me, a absolute cellar dweller. And in year one, it wasn't even year two. In year one, he had them in the playoffs. I mean, it's insane. None of the other coaches have done that. I mean, it is baffling
did you guys see any of
that he
his?
turned around from so little to so much. I mean, like the dude,
But
he's made
to-
a deal
to
with the
just-
devil. That's all I can figure.
So we're off the analysis for the game for a little bit, but just to sort of address that idea, I do think that one of the biggest differences is when he's doing this era allows him to do this.
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's a good
believe
point.
that he could have done this
Fair.
at any other time. And if we're
Not this
like
quickly.
just to sort of, because I know that for the three of us at least, and for tons of other, Husker fans, like we're always comparing Matt Rule to this. Rule had no similar thing because he came from the pros,
Yes,
so he could
agreed.
bring nobody with him. There
Correct.
was no chance of him like bringing guys to come, help bail out the Huskers. And so, for a lot of guys, for across the board in terms of like recreating this type of thing, it will have to be done in this era, and they will have to hit the exact right formula. And the fact that he's hit it will actually like allow him to continue recreating it because he keeps getting the next quarterback. So unless he misses on his talent evaluation at some point along the way, he's going to be fine. Or if he hits a year with a rash of injuries, and then that could bring him back down a notch, but because he's hit on this and he's where he is, I don't know that he's necessarily doing anything that a ton of coaches don't already preach and try to coach themselves. I really don't think he's got any kind of major secret sauce that nobody knows about and that he's doing something, that nobody's heard of or whatever. He's just managed to do it and do it loudly at this point. And it's only because he could go from JMU to Indiana and hit the portal at the same time to enhance all those guys that he brought from JMU with other guys who were already good, and then do it again the second year. I mean,
I see what you're saying. I would, the only counterpoint to that is that like he's not the only one in that scenario as far as having those circumstances, and they haven't done it.
I agree.
Quite as well.
I agree.
Either. I mean, it's been incredible, and it's been kind of exciting to watch. I mean, it's weird because, and some of it might just be because I don't know their players like I do Nebraska's, but like where these players just as a team and as individuals kind of almost seem to come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And have these
they're just a
stellar-
machine.
Yeah.
Like they are, and you keep kind of waiting for like something to show some kind of weakness or something at some point.
Yeah, and it never happens.
Dude, he's got.
Go
Did
ahead.
you guys see? Sorry, did you guys see any of the press conference where he was talking about like his coaching philosophy and their practices and the players he goes after? Dude, it's honestly some of that's way different than other coaches. They end their day early so their coaches can get home to their families.
Mm-hmm. There's other guys who
they
do
have
that.
early mornings. They get there early. Their practices are shorter than normal, I should say. And he's talked about that.
There's a trend of guys doing that actually.
And
like
he
Rule
wants
does
them
that.
to be home with their families.
I don't know about the coach.
Specifically said part of the reason for that is he does not want any of his assistant coaches or anybody on his staff fooling around with like people like females at where they're coaching. And he talks about players.
These
like,
guys
he doesn't go up. He doesn't
pay attention.
Yeah, it's kind of a slap to
Michigan. Pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he talks about not going after. He doesn't go after players with potential. He goes after players with production. He talks about that specifically, and I thought that was really interesting. He's like,
I mean, I think that's The hard part is if you can't get those players with production, you have to settle for players with potential, and that's what most people don't have the luxury of. What he's saying, most coaches don't. But that's really interesting. Did he coach under Saban?
yeah,
yes.
he did.
See, I think there's something to that too, because Saban just seems like the kind of guy who was so iron-willed, and maybe I'm totally wrong. I have no insight.
Well, Saban's coaching tree is massive in college.
It's massive. It's like
all four coaches in the semifinals: Oregon, Indiana, Ole Miss, and Miami. All four of them, and you could say five because Lane Kiffin, who was at Ole Miss and was not included in those four, all five of those guys coached under Saban.
Isn't that crazy? And now the dude's just a commentator on ESPN.
Texas head coach,
this guy
coached
is like the
under him.
godfather of college football, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but you know what? His iron will, I think he just didn't want to deal with the portal and the NIL and everything else. Like I think he was like,
true.
I'm like, not that he couldn't have, but that like he's like, why even attempt to tarnish my legacy by getting into this mess and then stressing myself as I'm reaching my, I mean, imagine the life he lives now. Like Saban's got to be so freaking chill at the moment,
Probably,
right?
But he
like
also
what would stress him out?
Well, yeah, nothing. My point was that Saban seemed like the type of coach that did not suffer fools. He did not allow the standard to ever be breached.
Yes,
and
agreed.
That's almost impossible to do. It is so freaking hard to stay so constantly vigilant to whatever the standard is, and you never allow anything, the slightest thing below it. Signetti comes off the same way as me. I have no idea if that's true, but that's how it comes off.
He has talked about recruiting players who he knows they would rather, and I don't know how he asks them or determines this, that they would rather play with the team than go to the NFL. Like they would rather play together. Like they would rather be there to play together with the team.
Are you talking about Saban
than have
or
personal
Signetti?
Aspirations? Well, this is from Signetti, but it probably comes from Saban.
Probably comes from Saban.
Then
how would you
be concerned about chasing dollar signs?
Yeah. But I think also those guys who do that and have that mentality know that if they do that, the dollar signs will follow. Like that's the part that a lot of kids, and I think that's a thing where kids don't often know, and if they don't have the right iron, will or the example in front of them, they have a hard time, believing in that concept. He was able to do it because Saban demonstrated that concept. Signetti demonstrates that concept all the time as well, and having been part of that coaching tree, he continues to demonstrate it. But that's the biggest thing is you've got to convince the kids that if you live this standard, you're going to get rewarded for it later. And
even if you don't, it's the process of just doing it. It is the reward itself.
That creates you being successful, because it doesn't matter if you're in football or not. You'll be successful if you're that kind of person.
Right, exactly. It's living that way.
Yes,
that is the reward. But it's also the reward. It's
also its own reward. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd be really curious to see what he's had to do as far as the administrative side, as far as the athletic department, and because Rule will talk up just because we're Husker fans, we're more familiar with what he's said, but Rule has seemed to have had to totally revamp much of the overall football operations. The stuff you don't see, right? It kind of makes me wonder, he's with the goal, obviously, of getting everybody on the same bus and in the same direction. And I wonder if Signetti's had to do that as well, or if, it's not as big of a deal there. It's just...
I think it was actually, to your point, okay, so your point was that Indiana was so bad for so long. I think the minute Signetti walks in the door, literally everybody that was working in the department would have just fallen in line based on his personality. because you can tell just looking at the man. And I imagine his presence in the room when he speaks to you says something. And like, we want to have success. This guy's had success. He had so much success, even at smaller places, that he's willing to very cockily at his intro press conference say, Google me, I win. Like, you're just going to be like, all right, let's win. Like, what do you need me to do? We'll do it. I imagine he just molded them like that over the first few months that he was there through the offseason before last year. Then it was just getting the players, bringing the coaches he already knows are going to be doing what that have bought in, and we're off and running. You know, in Rule's case, we haven't won like that since Dr. Tom or even the first few years of Solich. And so, like, we've been lost. Like, the university's literally been lost. And we have had some of the absolute worst hires on the planet when it comes to higher ups at the university. Our athletic directors for the last 25 years have mostly been garbage for the most part. I think Trev would have been okay. He's the biggest garbage. I know you know that, but like, I'm just like we've been bad. And the university in and of itself, the university's own leadership talking about the chancellor, I don't know much about it. I just know that Nebraska's had issues keeping a good chancellor at the top as well. Some of the guys they've had in that position, or individuals, I don't know if it's been all guys or there's been any ladies in there, but like, we've had issues with that. So the university itself has been off. So yes, I think Matt Rule's almost fighting a more uphill battle than, even though the team hasn't been anywhere near as bad as Indiana was all those years, he's fighting a higher, because people have like these long memories and they're like, oh, Dr. Tom did it this way, you know,
and expectations.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's
just milking a cow.
Yes,
milking a cow.
Yes, I was milking a cow. But
back
like
in the day, that's what they had to do.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
it's a side.
Some of them from growing the corn to milking.
But
cow.
I mean,
it's all hard work.
That's how Dr. Tom did it.
So okay, but then can we talk about what Rule just said about not being able to sign a running back because he ran out of money?
Yeah, he said something like that.
Yes.
Did he say that?
Yes.
He couldn't pay him as much as
they didn't. They didn't sign a running back, and the window came and went, and he said, "Well, I ran out of resources, so I didn't have enough."
Which is weird because he
literally just said, like,
that's what I'm saying.
A month ago.
Yes, we're real players now.
No complaints.
Yeah, he said we're
players now. We should be able to get
now.
whoever we want.
Yeah, maybe
I hadn't heard he said that.
Maybe the market jumped more than they expected. So one thing that Joel Klatt did say was that he was like kind of berating the NCAA and what some of the coaches decided to focus on for rules changes and crap like that. And meanwhile, like, NIL is just a rampant forest fire consuming everything. And he said that, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting now, the quarterback for Alabama.
Ty Simpson
never declared for the portal. He's going to the NFL. But he said in an interview, he flat out said that he got offered like $6.5 million.
Yeah.
From a team that should not have been contacting him because he wasn't in the portal.
Well, yeah, because they didn't contact him directly. They went through 3 people.
His agent.
Yeah, they went through 3 people to contact his agent, who then talked to him. Like that's how all of them do it, and that's how it happens in Major League Baseball.
So Klatt Klatt's, and to, like, I tend to agree with.
Like, how do you stop that though? Like, this is the problem. Like I get what they're saying, and I understand that this tampering stuff
you punish it when
bugs
stories
everybody.
Like that come out.
With who? Like, how is that? How are you going to make that stand up legally? Like, if you punish them,
what do you mean? You've got records of those conversations.
Okay, but why is it? It's not illegal. There's no rule.
Sure, it is. It's just
there's only an agreed upon rule. There's not a.
Well, right. So that's his argument. Is that, like, they didn't focus on that at all in the recent, like, coaching rules change, whatever.
But even if they do, like, go to
establish a rule that says that you can't do that, and
then everybody has to buy into that and be willing to enforce those against each other when they know that they themselves will want to break that rule later.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but it's just like agreed upon corruption.
Yes.
Maybe it's not against some law or some rule, but it's certainly unethical, and it's crappy.
I mean, that's how, but
Well,
even
he
in
didn't.
baseball, where it is a rule that they've all agreed upon, all of it happens the exact same way. If I'm with the Mets and I want to sign Bo Bichette before I'm legally allowed to talk to him, all I do is tell somebody who is not related to the Mets, to tell somebody who's not related to either team, to tell somebody who's not related to the other team that, like, I don't know where he came from, Boston or whatever, and then go to his agent, and now you've gone through 4 people with the same message, and you can talk to Bo Bichette that way. Like it happens across the board.
I know. It's still tampering.
Well, sure, but
Well, what difference does it make? I guess in this case, I'm just trying to understand there was no fallout from it.
Well, the fallout is that now you're raising the market to $6 million for a quarterbaip. And
Well,
then
that's
it
not
just keeps
fallout.
going.
That's an overall issue. That's not
But
a
that's
tampering issue. That's
sure.
it's going to eventually
No,
get to
it's not,
6
because-
You're
anyway.
changing the
Exactly.
market.
Even
What's expected.
legally,
Well,
even if there was no tampering
listen,
going on, you're
listen.
going to get to 6.
listen.
It's
are
coming.
But when somebody ends up spending 6.5 for somebody who ends up being a dumpster fire, they're going to think twice the next time.
Nope.
Yes, they are, unless they are billionaires who who have endless pockets. Okay, in which we know, like Indiana
the
has,
school-
a
maybe
few
that
other
one
schools have
Texas Tech has.
tech, oil and tech, and some of
That's
these
the
guys. But
point. That's the point. That's where the rich keep getting richer, and the
So-
other smaller schools keep.
the
staying
only
there.
way this is going to change is that you have to make the players employees. That's the only way it's going to change.
Well, I'm not opposed to that. Like,
And then,
I just follow the scale that the
and then
NFL
collectively bargain with
You
it.
collectively bargain, exactly.
Yes.
That's what
Agreed.
it
That's
is.
what
It is the
everybody's
Wild
been
West.
saying.
just
Yes.
a cap or just a cap.
We're going to look back on this time in 15 years and just be like, what in the living fudge were we all thinking?
They kind of had to go through it, right? Like, if we were going to change this,
I don't know if nobody
nobody
had
was
to go
being
through it.
proactive. So
Well,
you're right.
I think it's
They
because-
could
just
have
because they weren't being
avoided it
proactive
by
doesn't mean we had to go through it.
The-
Like, we
the
did go through it because
NCAA
the NCAA was so short-sighted.
Yes, the
But they
NCAA
didn't want to
years
take the lead
ago,
on it.
when
Yes.
yes, exactly, the NCAA years ago could have said, "Hey, we're not going to let this turn into a dumpster fire," and instead of just fighting the what was going to happen, they could have started working on a framework of how to make it possible, and then solve the issues before it happened. Yes, that's possible. But since that was not how they took the tactic, in order to force change at this point, you have to go through the mess because there's nobody who's being proactive. Everybody in the sport is being reactive. And just like you said, when you spend $6 million on a quarterback and then he sucks, or he blows his knee in the first game and you lose all your money
gets
or
injured.
whatever that tipping point is going to have to happen and it's going to have to happen to enough people.
I was going to say
It's going to have to happen
enough.
across like several top teams. It doesn't have to all happen one year. It has to happen, though, to a number of people to where it starts to hurt in the pocketbook, and then they make changes. So it may be 15 years. It may be 30. It could be a long time before this mess gets figured out because nobody's being proactive.
No way.
Everybody's
No way.
just being reactive.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's
but like
a ship without a.
But all it's going to take is for someone to come in and say, guys, we're going to create our own thing. The NCAA is out. The new commission is in.
I don't think it's that.
They've
simple.
already tried that, though. They've appointed a commission to what do they call it?
Because
Like,
what's going to happen, guys, is good
warehouse
coaches are
those
going to
the
leave.
NIL deals
Where
and
are they
say
gonna
whether
go?
or not it's
The
they're
coaches.
NFL.
Maybe if there's enough openings, but that's not a guarantee. I think
that's why Saban retired.
What will ultimately happen is that Congress will get involved, and then it'll suck even worse.
Well, then
Because-
I think you're going to get smart people together within college football and say, guys, we don't unless we're the only way that we can avoid Congress from stepping in is for us to do something.
there's actually a push by people in football to want Congress
Yeah.
to do something.
Yeah,
dude.
And I
there's
think that's
no way
insane.
a sane
I
person
think that's
can want
insane.
that. There-
I agree with you, but I think NCAA is so gutless and so.
But I'm not
so
talking about
just
the NCAA.
wandering in the forest.
I'm talking about
I know,
commissioners,
but I understand.
talking
that, but
about
you've got to then establish
investors.
an alternative to the NCAA. And that's not going to be easy to do. They don't want to do that. They want to coach.
And the investors, you can't count on them because like the what is it, the group that's funding Utah now, that money that's coming in, like they're not going to care. All they want is a return on their investment, and they're not going to care how they get it.
Well, I'm not talking about that particular company. I'm talking about
but that's who's going to be running the joint. Because Utah's not going to be the only team doing it.
They're going to create a good product because they want a return on their investment.
But
so
you would hope. You would hope.
I mean,
they know they can manipulate the system right now completely and utterly.
Who's they? Who's they?
The superfluous they of investors.
They're not getting money back. That's a tax write-off. What do you? When you're buying a team, who's the billionaire from the Shark Tank guy?
Cuban.
Who is? Yes, he's the one who wrote the fat check to Indiana.
Yes.
So he's not getting that money back. It's not an investment.
He is.
Of course he is, in some way.
Yeah,
guys,
I guarantee.
How?
Each person just gives away money for nothing.
What? It's called a donation.
Yeah, but they're expecting something in
donors.
Return. Whether
they're
it's
donors.
Favors, dude. No,
that's fine. But what I'm saying is, give $30 million to the team. I'm not like, okay, I better get a 20% return on this.
No, but they're
it doesn't have to be a monetary return.
And they don't want
to. That's fine. I'm talking about monetarily.
Order overall. There has to be some sort of governing body for it, and that's what they're never going to want to create themselves. They don't want to put in that work. It would be hard. It would be incredibly hard.
I don't know. I'm just going to.
You've got to have an alternative.
I think within 3 to 5 years,
as a governing
we're
body.
just going to be looking at something that is completely different than what we've got right now.
Yeah,
I agree. It'll be different. I don't know that it will have solved anything. I agree it'll be different. I just don't see how it would necessarily solve anything. That's my thing.
That's not my thing, though.
Well, I just don't think it can continue on like this for much longer because, like, we're not just the ones complaining. It's the people.
Oh, yeah, it's everybody.
It's the ones who are trying to maintain some semblance of a team.
But think about this.
Think about this. Can't do it.
We're all
Guys,
complaining.
We can't do it.
Yeah.
And yet, I haven't had this much fun watching a college football season in a long time. This season has been straight up fun. The product on the field.
I've had much more fun.
Other than the Huskers. Other than the Huskers.
It's been a fun year for you, man.
Other than the Huskers, which has not been, like, that didn't go the way I wanted it to go, okay? Other than the Huskers. And a couple of but like, if I step back, from the teams I root for, this season was insanely fun. Like, there were so many crazy games that went on that were so good from top to bottom. Like Maction on midweek Maction
just lost
was
our audience.
Yeah, we're out.
Last. It was some really good games for the most part. You know, like it's like the Saturdays were crazy games all over the place. You know,
I don't know. I feel like
you got some new blood in, which was always one of my big complaints because I'm sick and tired of seeing the same dang teams all the time. And you know, like I know Alabama made the playoffs and Ohio State made the playoffs, but like. There's been new blood along the way. You know, Texas Tech does something crazy. Indiana comes out of nowhere.
Ole Miss,
Miami, Ole Miss, exactly. And I think we're going to continue to see more of that. Like, I think we're going to continue to see more teams pop out of nowhere.
The identity of your team, yeah. But at the cost of having any continuity in your team whatsoever.
Agreed.
And I completely agree. I don't like that trade.
The days of the 1970s and 80s when you could follow a kid from being a freshman all the way through to his fifth year seniorness because he red shirts and everything else.
I'm talking
and the days of like
having any kind of order whatsoever. Maybe even like, dude, like I don't know.
It's just a carousel. Yeah.
Yes.
A minimum, like you can only transfer, say, twice. I don't know.
I'm all right with that, by the way. Like, I don't like to me seeing the guys who have transferred like 7 times because of knee injuries and stuff like that. And they've literally spent time in like 7 buildings. Like, I feel like that's, and 7's an example, but like, you know, there's been plenty of 6s and a ton of 4 to 5s. You see that all the time. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm not going to lie. That's not as fun to me because I mean, what are you even doing? So I'm with you. That needs to be one of the rules that people set is you can transfer twice, whatever. The reason that they haven't done that is because the kids are going to challenge it in court. So you have to come up with a reason that they can't do it. A legal reason. Because that's the reason nobody's stopping them. That's the reason the portal is the way it is right now, is because there's no legal basis. Because here's the thing. If I'm a kid majoring in chemistry and I want to transfer to 5 different schools while I finish my schooling, there's nothing stopping me from doing that. I can do that all I want. As long as my credits transfer, who cares? No one in the world gives a rat's rear end. And I could become the world's greatest chemist and make millions of dollars. But kids in college who are athletes get restricted, and so what is your basis for restricting them from doing the same thing that a regular student can do?
There are all sorts of.
That's why you got to have a separate commission outside.
Well, that's why you've got to figure out the rules, and people have to agree to abide by the rules.
They don't. You don't have to agree to abide by the rules if they're the law.
If it's a non, but that's my point though. You're never going to win that battle in court. So it has to be a rule that's created by your own organization, whether it be the NCAA or any organization that replaces it that is going to govern football. When they know they're still it is not going to be a legal reason, because you can't find a legal reason to restrict a kid to stay at a school. You can't.
For sure you could.
No. If you can't restrict a regular student from transferring, you can't restrict an athlete. Period.
You could if you made them employees.
With a non-compete clause, I guess. But even non-compete clauses, well, sure, you have your contracts, but then most of the time, those don't restrict people. Like if I have a contract and I play in the NFL.
If you decide to play college football, you are going, this is the framework of your employment.
But if you're going to be an employee of the university, then shouldn't. They're going to then argue that they shouldn't be.
I think it would have to be independent,
like a student as well. You're adding all these legal things to them when nobody else has to deal with it. You're adding legal restrictions to them just because they're an athlete.
Yeah. Then you don't get to play.
A chemistry student is not making millions of dollars for being.
And he's not part of the team.
He could. What?
It doesn't matter. Well, then you put things in mind. You put things in place for chemistry students.
I get that it's an extreme example, but a chemistry student could potentially make a ton of money and do something for his university, representing it somehow.
Just tied it up.
Yeah, they did. Wow.
I missed it. You were yelling at us. And so
all I'm saying is that legally, you're going to have a lot to prove to force kids just because they're athletes to do certain things. You're going to have to figure out whatever that legal basis is. I mean,
all sorts of.
Oh my gosh! Did you guys just see that play?
No, I'm not watching anything.
Well, rewind it, because that was insane. He just ran backwards 20 yards and launched it into the end zone. Oh my gosh. That was the most Caleb Williams play I've ever seen.
That's wild. He's standing on the 40. Holy crap. And he threw it. Wow, he just put that thing 45 yards in the air, dude. That's wild.
Well, the fact that it wasn't even a Hail Mary.
No,
he exactly
he threw it right to where he was throwing it. Yeah, he threw it to Cole Kmet. That's insane.
God, number 10.
Wow, number 10's looking up at the screen and he sees it and just ducks.
Wait, what? Well, who is that?
The defender, number 10 for the Rams, knocks down Caleb Williams, doesn't even look backwards at the pass going over his head. He's looking at the screen in front of him and just goes,
oh my gosh.
Look at McVay's face. Wow. That's the danger with the Bears right now, man.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
That's the problem playing the Bears. You can't leave them in the game this long. Yeah. Soldier Field is...
McVay just can't believe that I can't believe that just happened.
That's wild.
My gosh.
Thank heavens for that disruption.
Anyway.
All I'm saying... Just kidding.
We were talking about Signetti.
All right. How are we going to wrap this freaking show up?
Here's a couple of things. So, first off, I didn't ever get to talk about the national championship game.
And I want to get your opinion.
But you really are?
Tell us. Yes, I'm serious. Okay. I want to hear what you have to say about Indiana Miami.
So here was my thought. Going into the Ole Miss Miami game, I thought Reuben Bain and the other guy on the Miami defense that gets talked about all the time were going to dominate that game.
Warren Sapp.
Okay, and I was honestly surprised that their names barely got called all night. That let me know I don't think Miami has a snowball's chance in Miami to
Same as hell.
to
in
like
South
win
Beach.
that game. I think Indiana's just going to run roughshod over them. I
I'm
do
the only
think
one
it
who
will
thinks
be
it's gonna be a
closer than
four-touchdown
the
game.
Oregon game, only because Miami does have a strong defense and a strong offensive line. But I don't think it's really going to be that close. I don't trust Carson Beck either. If I was in the NFL, I wouldn't draft Carson Beck. I don't care how many starts he's got. If he wants to try and make the team as an undrafted free agent, fine. But I would not draft him. I wouldn't waste any capital on him. I don't trust him, and I don't think he's that big of a playmaker. He's just never, ever impressed me. Even when he was at Georgia, there's nothing about Carson Beck that impresses me. Nothing. And I don't, listen, I'm probably prejudiced there. I've just never thought that he was that guy, that he is the guy that's going to put his team on his back and do something crazy. Even against Ole Miss, I didn't find it that crazy that the man had a wide open gap and was able to walk in 4 yards. Like, that was not his doing. He did not do anything crazy on that play. He took advantage of the fact that his offensive line gave him a hole so big I could have driven a semi-truck through it. So, it's like whatever. So I personally think Indiana's just a machine. I think they're going to roll in. They're going to just, like, it's going to be over by halftime pretty much. And,
Jeez.
It'll probably be 28-7, 28-10 at half, and then Indiana comes out, puts on a couple more, Miami might even finish with like 21 or 24 points, maybe, but it'll be like 48, 49, 24, like whatever. It's, and then Indiana, everybody's going to want to talk about them in the GOAT status of all time. I do think for their own era, which in this new era of NIL and portal and all that stuff, which is only 3-4 years old, they will have been the best national champion in the last few years.
Yeah.
Personally, I think.
Yeah.
They will not have lost at all this year. Like Ohio State lost a game last year. Exactly. Ohio State lost to Michigan last year. Michigan, did they go undefeated when they won it? But I think they did.
Games, though.
But it wasn't 16 games.
14 or 15.
I think it was 14. So
Dude, that Michigan team wouldn't. They would get.
Oh yeah, I think this Indiana team would definitely take it to them. So yeah, I don't think. I mean, it just. That Ole Miss game could have showed me that Miami was ready, especially defensively, but the fact that Ole Miss was able to do what they did, and I don't think Ole Miss is anywhere near as complete. Dude. Ole Miss was all Trinidad Chambliss. Like, all him all the time. And he's unreal.
Kid's going to be good. The kid's going to be good.
That's the only guy you're trying to stop. You're going to be okay. And Indiana can just pound the ball. Their offensive line is dominant. Their D-line is crazy good. I mean, that's why I think Indiana, like, I get what you're saying and trying to make the argument that Miami's O-line, D-line is really good, but I think Indiana's is every bit as good as it just doesn't have the name recognition. And they just don't make mistakes.
I think the schemes.
Like, that's the other thing. Indiana just doesn't beat themselves ever.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Well, why would you? That would hurt.
Themselves, So that's my thoughts on the game. So I think Indiana, big. Maybe Miami makes it look a little closer late, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think it might be the opposite. I think they might keep it close a little bit closer early. I don't think they'll keep it close in the second half.
Yeah.
I think one of the differences is that Oregon had bad crap happen right from the get-go. And
I
don't know that that's going to be the case for Miami. I don't know that they'll start out with such a deficit. That like pick six right at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was just like an absolute gut punch.
Well, I can see Beck throwing a pick early. To be
sure,
fair,
it could happen. It just
maybe not a pick
likely.
six, but so I know you guys want to get going. We've been doing this for a minute, but I was curious as to your thoughts, both of you, on the portal. And Josh, where did you see that information on the JUCO kid? Because I haven't seen anything. Are they still saying that? Like, is it official? Like, because I haven't seen anything anywhere.
No.
Saying that he might go to Clemson?
Yeah, that or him, like, not qualifying.
That I saw in the chat forum. Somebody cited something else, like another article or something like that he was having a hard time. That he had, like, he got his final math grade and was going to have to totally redo the class or something like that. So
I would find that hard to believe that would stop him from being able to.
The article about him leaving was from a tweet from 24/7 Sports. Chris Hummer, I guess, is some like guy who works for 24/7. He said put in a crystal ball pick for Clemson to flip Nebraska JUCO All-American DT commit Andy Bergergia.
I'm more worried about Eckler.
I'm not. I am just because I don't want them to go for a staff.
Then why doesn't he say something? Why isn't he?
Right.
He's just been like, no, I'm staying.
Well, Damon Benning on that said, wait till closer to February, and that's probably when you'll see the final decision, which
I don't like that at all.
feels weird. Yeah, I don't like it either, but at the same time, like, the way Rule has talked about it, and the fact that they offered him that extension that would make him the highest or second highest paid special teams coordinator
and he
in
didn't
the middle
take
of the season, and he didn't take it when things are great, before he had any kind of offer from USC, tells you he doesn't actually want to be there at Nebraska.
I don't know if it tells you that. It
tells you that he wants their thought. I mean,
he wants more. He wants more of something, and it's not money.
Yeah, it's like he wants to be a position coach in addition to special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a big fan of the special teams committee running the show.
I hate that.
I don't like that idea, really. I will say this.
Ed Foley either. He was a special teams coach, and they sucked rocks under him.
Yeah, he was terrible. So I guess that was the other thing I was thinking is they were terrible with Foley as their special teams coordinator, and I don't know that I like the idea of them doing it by committee. But I will say that the guy that one of the two guys that he mentioned in what Eckler brought with him from Tennessee, and so that makes me feel a little better because then that means the guy's been doing it with him for longer than a year.
Yeah.
And if he's been working with Eck for longer than a year, then maybe he's the kind of guy that can actually do it himself, and maybe even if it's technically by committee, he's sort of running the committee, I guess, and maybe it'll be okay. So I don't know. I don't want to lose Eckler. I like him. I love his infectious attitude and his craziness. I love that. I think that's something that adds to the team. It will be interesting to see, what happens, and maybe he stays. I mean, maybe there's something that they can, tell him, hey, look, maybe this year you're not coaching a position, or I don't understand why they can't just put him in a position room. Don't even make him the head guy. Just say, hey, look, we don't know what's going to happen. Go in the linebackers room. Do special teams like you're doing, and then go be with the linebackers and help coach the linebackers. I don't understand why that's not a thing, or that they haven't talked about that as being a possibility of a thing. And maybe it is. Maybe he stays behind the scenes because they say something like that, and he sort of fits into there. And then depending on, how things go down the line, he becomes an actual position coach at some point. Yeah. Maybe.
Who knows? But I think, kind of going along with the same thing that you were saying there is if you can have as many coaches as you want now, why wouldn't you go get a special teams coordinator? Why would you just bother?
Yeah.
Why would you add burden to position coaches? Why wouldn't, I don't understand that approach.
The only thing I can say is that maybe he thinks that everybody's gotten their contracts and so they're not going to want to leave or something at this point because of where they're at in the cycle. Maybe. That's the only thing I can think. Because I agree with you. I don't understand why you wouldn't at least put out feelers and say, hey, and we've seen guys climbing from lower divisions. Why not go look at FCS and figure out who's got the best special teams in the FCS and go find that guy?
Yeah.
Why not? He's going to be eager as hell to prove what he could do on a jumping up to the Big Ten.
Go find a high school coach.
Find somebody who can do your special teams. I agree. I think they should do that, and without a limit on your coaching staff, I don't know why you wouldn't. And the other thing I'm going to say is, if you truly believe this guy that came with Eckler knows the stuff, why not just make him the guy? Make him the full-time specialty. If you think he can do it, why make it a committee? Yeah. Make him the special teams dude and just go with it. Have somebody leading the troops. That's where I don't like it. Because there needs somebody with ownership of special teams. Not somebody who's going to go, my group's doing fine.
Right.
We got the PAT down. We nailed PATs. We're good.
I think he can look to his own history of when he didn't,
Agreed. I agree.
Did you guys read that Husker article I sent you? The Husker article from ESPN? Dude, it was on Like the anniversary of the 19...
Tommy Frazier, the 60.
Yes. The 25th anniversary? No, yeah. Wait, what?
Did I read that? I think I started reading 30th. It and then I got
30th. 95, right?
Dude, just reading about like the way that he was such a boss, dude. Like just the way that he interacted with the seniors on it, like everybody on the team, even as a true freshman. I don't know, just some of the quotes and the anecdotes from the article I loved more than actually anything else. They were just more about the man behind the uniform.
The one anecdote that I remember, it sort of not related to that, but related to the game, was an interview that somebody was conducting. I think it was ESPN or some other sports. They were told this story later, was that they were meeting with two Huskers, and it might have been like the Peter brothers or somebody like that. And they started out the question with Florida's been, Florida's coming in here with some real talent, and it could be basically saying like, you guys are kind of the underdogs here almost. Mm-hmm. And the two Husker players just kind of look at each other like they knew something this guy didn't know. They knew that they were about to lay the hammer down on Florida.
Oh man, everybody loved Florida that year. They were all like all the flash and dash that Florida had going with Danny Werfel and all that kind of stuff. Everybody thought for sure that Florida was going to roll Nebraska in that game, and that was the dumbest thing ever. Yeah. That 95 team.
I like that story.
No, I love that. That 95 team was so good. So good. They just
the offensive linemen
crushed people.
Dude, the stats. I reread the stats. I just like...
It's insane.
How did I forget how dominant they were?
Yeah. Didn't get sacked once. Never got sacked that entire season.
Even for a running team, that's
like
insane.
It's a quick article. Read it, because you're just going to have this love. One of the offensive line, I don't remember who. I don't know. It wasn't Weigert, but he's like this true freshman walks into Weigert. No,
just threw a pick.
Gosh. Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Play's just going on right now.
Maybe if he. Sorry.
You dope.
He walks into the. Him and some other dude are talking in the huddle. He, what's his face comes in and Frazier. Thank you. I keep thinking Armstrong. Frazier walks into the huddle, looks at him, and goes, "Shut the F up, this is my huddle." And they look at, he said, we looked at each other, and we were like, okay, all right, I can get behind this kid.
Yeah, well, given the way he treated me the one time I met him, I can totally see that.
Wait, what did he
tell
do?
You to shut the F up?
Pretty much. He ripped me a new one.
What?
Yeah.
What is the story? Hurry up. It's an hour and a half in. What is the story? You have 2 minutes. Go.
So we were, when I went to the game versus Colorado years ago, they had a Husker event the night before, and Tommy was there with a couple of other guys signing autographs. And I went through the line. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to get autographs. Deb paid for them. She's like, you got to go. Because I'm not big on autographs. So I'm like really... anyway, I just got the autographs and walked away, and she's like, no, go over there, I'll get a picture, whatever. So after I'd gone through the line, she wanted me to get a picture with him, and I felt really awkward about it, and Tommy didn't appreciate that at all. He ripped me for trying to get a picture with him afterwards. And I'm standing there trying to smile because my girlfriend's telling me to smile. And I'm afraid Tommy is going to kill me because he's ripping me for disrupting the line. I don't even remember all of it, but it was basically like, because I was trying to like manage her response to me with like listening to him and try to smile and everything. Like he basically was just like, you shouldn't be doing this, man. You already got your autographs. You're messing up, something like that. It was along those lines that I was basically taking up time for the other people who wanted autographs or something of that nature. Because other people have been getting pictures with him. I mean, it was just like, it was very commanding, and I definitely could see him doing that in the huddle. So,
I mean, it might have been because you were doing that at a pediatric hospital and all the other people dying were kids with cancer, but I don't know. Maybe that
was a restaurant.
Didn't have anything to do with that. I don't know.
It was a restaurant.
Well,
guys. It was a Husker restaurant in Denver. So, anyway, yeah, it was wild.
University Hospital. Cool.
All right, gentlemen. As far as like doing some more stuff for the pod, like I have some ideas, and I was wondering if you guys would want to learn how to, like, if we figured this out, like how to, like, actually have guests on the show.
Let's do that off the air.
Yeah, that's fine. Anything else we got for the pod?
Go Huskers.
Go Big Red. Go Indiana tomorrow. Go Seahawks. Going to the Super Bowl, baby.
Okay.
Boo. Boo.